Madam Plaintiff, why are we in court today?
We're in court today because I'm suing the defendant for sexual harassment and emotional distress. He's my landlord and I'm his tenant. This past month of September, I've been really struggling with business and it's been really hard to make ends meet. So I reached out to Robert asking for a little bit of a leeway. I needed at least a payment plan or 2 weeks because I was unable to cover $750 worth of rent.
Let me ask you this, Mr. Klein. Is what she's saying true?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
At the beginning of September, Ms. Patel reached out to me and said that she was going to be $750 short of the rent. And I said that I understand your situation and let's find a way to work that out.
And you told that to her verbally, sir, or in a text message? How did you communicate
Both text and verbally.
Okay, is that consistent, Ms. Patel?
There is textual evidence. I have a screenshot.
Okay, let's see here. I am seeing, okay, so this, I do see you have a witness here. This is Danielle?
Yes.
Okay,
Right.
ma'am, yes, please approach. How long have you been a tenant in Mr. Klein's property?
For 2 years, since December 2023.
Okay, great. And you've had what kind of experience?
Same sexual harassment. He's invading my space, my privacy, and it's just getting overwhelming. And I'm not the only, witness. There's other people in our building, females, of course.
Okay, let me go back to these text messages. So I'm seeing this. This is from Ms. Patel to Mr. Klein. Hey, Robert, I'm really sorry. I'm a little short on the rent. Work was slow last month. I should have the full $750 within 2 weeks. If you want to set up a short payment plan or something, that works too. You say, how about we come to a deal? You take some pictures of me and I'll call the rent even. I've been trying to get back into online dating and I could use some good photos. Maybe you could come over tonight and take them and we'll settle the balance. Now, you are a photographer.
Correct.
Okay. And you actually say, I suppose I could do that.
Up until this point.
Hold on, ma'am. You say, great, come over around 7 p.m.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm ready now if you want to come. This is 8:30 p.m., so I guess she did not show up at 7 as scheduled?
She showed up shortly after 7. Your Honor, I just got out of the shower and she knocked on my door and I answered the door in my bathrobe.
He answered in his bathrobe. It was extremely distressful. And this man has been, commenting on all my socials, my business socials. This has been going on for a while now.
No.
It's
Okay, hold on,
ridiculous.
you two. Let me come to you, Mr. Klein. Do you ask all late tenants to come over and take photos of you in your bathroom?
Your Honor, I understand what you're saying, but I'm a hands-on landlord, meaning that I want to nip things in the bud.
Okay.
With tenants who are having problems with their dishwashers or their washing machines. I want to make sure that it's a harmonious environment in the apartment
Mr.
complex.
Klein, you're using a lot of words to tell me nothing. Here's what I'm trying to get to. Were you okay with her being 2 weeks late on the $750?
I was concerned, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Klein, you are seeking this professional photographer's expert lens around helping your dating profile.
Yes, I know it sounds crazy about the online dating profile.
Now, I want to know from your perspective why you think it sounds so crazy.
Because a lot of people don't talk about their online dating profiles. However, I'm divorced with a 16-year-old daughter. And
what does that have to do with the price of tea in China, sir?
Your Honor, I'm just trying
to make this make sense. We are too. So here's the thing, Mr. Klein. She actually agrees. And I'm going to tell you, Ms. Patel, I do have some trouble with that. Okay, I think this whole thing sounds very sketchy. Okay, plaintiff witness. What do you think about what you're hearing today?
It's absurd. He's harassed and stopped me personally. I have experience.
So tell me about your experience.
So I'm coming from my jog early in the morning. I'm wearing shorts, tank top, and he stops me by the mailboxes and he goes, "Oh, it should be illegal how short those shorts are." And I'm like, haha, okay. And he's like, "Oh, well, maybe we should come by." And I'm like, "No,
Come by
I'm okay."
where? His house?
I don't know. I didn't let him finish.
Let me ask you this, Madam Witness. Had you communicated these experiences that you had with Mr. Klein to Ms. Patel?
Of course.
I had similar experiences, and that's when I reached out to Danielle, and that's how I found out that this wasn't just a one-off case with me. There's other women in the building that have had gross and disgusting encounters with Robert Klein.
Right. And are they here in the courtroom today, Ms. Patel?
Yes. He's been...
No. You said that there are many other women that live on these properties that have had horrible...
Only Danielle is present with me today.
Okay, so I want to stop you, Ms. Patel. I appreciate your enthusiasm and your passion around what you are alleging happened to you. I do. But you have to understand, from my position as the judge, I can only consider what is in my courtroom, ma'am. Okay? So I respectfully have to end the speculation about what other potential tenants would say because they're not here. You understand this, ladies?
Okay.
Okay. So let's get back to this, Mr. Klein. I'm going to tell you this sounds a bit sketchy to me because why would a man, any man, but it's certainly a man with a level of power, okay? As a landlord, you do acknowledge you have some level of dominance and control over where these women are laying their head. You understand that?
I understand that.
You understand that is a power dynamic at play as a landlord and they are tenants.
I understand.
So you have to be able to understand then, sir, you commenting on this young lady's anatomy in any way around her chest size, around the length of her shorts, around anything she is wearing or anything involving her body or sexuality or any of that is highly inappropriate.
I totally agree with you.
You totally agree and you're
right.
nodding
Absolutely.
and you understand that.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm glad we're clear on that. Now I want you to stay just that honest when I ask you this next question. Okay. When you ask the plaintiff, Ms. Patel, to come to your apartment and take photos of you, did it have a sexual connotation?
Absolutely not, Your Honor. I only asked Ms. Patel suggested Ms. Patel come to my apartment at 7 o'clock that evening to take headshots. She didn't reject that.
So you wanted a headshot?
To improve my online dating
in a row
site. And she didn't object to that.
Ms. Patel, hold 1 second, please. These are the important facts I must extract to make a proper ruling.
Personally, I think the defendant have an ulterior motive. Personally. However, the plaintiff don't have enough evidence to pin him down.
So you're saying, sir, again, under oath, Elijah put you under oath.
Yes.
Sworn testimony, that you intended for it to be headshots alone for your profile. And in exchange for that, I guess this was going to be $750 worth of headshots you were planning to give her a full rent credit for?
That was a suggestion.
That was what you were putting on the table.
I was making that suggestion.
Okay, thank you, sir. Ms. Patel, was that your understanding?
That was my understanding, but I did not expect for him to open that door and be exposed to all that.
Well, wait a minute. Let's talk about what exactly you were exposed to. Because he's saying he came to the door in a robe. That could look a lot of different ways, right? Did you see any of his anatomy?
I did. It was a robe that you wear around the house. Is that how you open your door
Elijah,
to
let
guests?
me ask Elijah. I don't know. I'm not a man, Ms. Patel. Let's find out. When men are at their homes relaxing.
Yes.
Do you have a robe, Elijah?
I have a robe. I don't use it.
Like a bathrobe. Oh, so you just really be outside. Okay.
Judge.
But if you were to put a robe on,
I would have
would somebody see something that maybe they shouldn't see?
No, we would have it properly.
Properly. And did you, Mr. Klein, have it properly secure?
Yes, it was wrapped up, the robe around my body and tied, and nothing was showing.
And you're saying there was no exposure?
There was absolutely no exposure.
But Ms. Patel, you're saying that there was exposure?
There was.
Because is this the nature, because you're asking for $5,000, okay? That's not, ma'am, you need to listen. No, ma'am, I'm talking, and this is my courtroom. Ms. Patel, you're asking the court to find in your favor for the sum of $5,000. That is not a little piece of money. That's a significant portion of money, you agree. And you're alleging that you are owed that for emotional damage and harassment and for your pain and suffering, as you are saying you were harassed by this man. Is that correct?
Correct. Emotional distress. Correct.
Emotional distress. I'm trying to understand the severity of your claim.
The emotional distress, Your Honor, comes from me not being able to feel safe in my own home. I literally was driving.
But you went to his home, Ms. Patel.
I felt
Ms.
unsafe.
Patel.
He's been making comments.
Ms. Patel. There's a time to talk and there is a time to listen. Now, I am really trying to see this from your lens, but you're making it difficult for me, Ms. Patel. When I look at the text message and you say, I suppose I could do that in response to his request for you to come to his house after work hours at 7 p.m. in the evening time to take these personal photos, which he already told you was for a dating website. Audience, are y'all understanding this? You see my dilemma? Like, I really want to feel where you're coming from, Ms. Patel, but you're making it difficult.
I've gathered all my evidence and I've sent that to management and heard
You're talking about
nothing
this
back.
letter? You're talking about this
Yes.
letter? Okay, let's read the letter. You say, dear management, I'd like to file an official complaint against my landlord, Robert Klein. I recently came up short on rent, and when I told him I would pay it soon, he strongly implied that he would waive the rent if I slept with him. Okay, now I'm getting new information, Ms. Patel. Here's the thing, Ms. Patel. All of this sounds increasingly horrendous. You're talking about him offering to waive your rent if you slept with him, but you have not presented any evidence to this nature in my courtroom today.
My plaintiff is here to prove that.
Okay. Are you going to testify before you speak? Because I don't want you to get yourself in trouble. Are you going to be able to testify to me that you heard this man, Mr. Klein, the defendant, offer to waive $750 worth of rent in exchange for sex?
No, Your Honor.
You can't tell me that. Okay,
No,
I
but
appreciate your honesty. Ma'am, I asked what I needed to know and you answered it. I thank you for your service. In fact, at this point, ma'am, you can sit down. Mr. Klein, what is it? I'm about to be ready to make a ruling because at this point, I'm getting quite frustrated.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just very quickly, both of these ladies have filed complaints on me, but oddly enough, they still live in the apartment.
Well, sir, that is not an adequate defense. I'm going to tell you why. Turn around and look around. Americans are struggling, sir. So you, in any way, taking advantage of people's economic distress, the scarcity of housing, is not an excuse for what I believe is pushing the line of decency and respect and integrity in the home place. You sitting here telling me, well, Your Honor, if it was so bad they should move, is not a defense. But what I am not convinced of from a legal standard, Ms. Patel, is that it reaches a place of sexual harassment that you were not complicit in. You voluntarily went because you wanted to save $750 on your rent. You can't have it both ways, Ms. Patel. You can't both want economic relief through a barter and exchange that you agreed to and then come in here and sue this man for $5,000 because you ultimately didn't like the way your own negotiation made you feel.
He's been commenting on my business socials, making weird comments about my body, like
Ms.
making
Patel, let me help you
uncomfortable.
save yourself from yourself. You saying all of that only bolsters my argument. You knew that he was already what I call a habitual line stepper. Somebody who was commenting on women's bodies, inappropriate, by the way. Somebody who's probably leaning on leveraging his position of power to see just how far young ladies just like you, vulnerable, will go. And I've been very clear with Mr. Klein what I think of his behavior. Inappropriate, disrespectful, and you're this close, sir, to actually being a sexual harasser. The good thing for you today is I don't have the evidence of that in this courtroom to rule on that behalf. So because of that, Ms. Patel, I do wish you safety. I do wish you the very best, but I need you to exercise boundaries and clear judgment. If a man or anybody for that matter is making you uncomfortable on social media, know that it only gets worse in person. It doesn't get better. I hate that you felt violated, but you have not met the legal burden in my courtroom to prove sexual harassment, certainly not to the tune of $5,000. The plaintiff's case is dismissed. Good day.
This is quite a difficult case. Very difficult. Like I said, personally, I think the defendant have an ulterior motive, but the plaintiff don't have enough evidence to pin him down. That is my own personal opinion. I think the plaintiff would have waited long enough to get enough evidence in order to pin the defendant down. Because now looking at this case, you find out that the evidence the plaintiff is presenting to court are mere text messages and visual images from her head, which is not enough evidence to pin somebody down in a courtroom. So I think even without waiting for something to happen, I think there are ways she would have gotten enough evidence to pin the plaintiff down. But she was, will I say she was in a hurry to pin the defendant down? She has to rush to court, given not enough evidence. That is my own personal opinion. What do you think about this particular case? And do you think the judge actually ruled the case very well? What do you think? I want to know your own view of this particular case in the comment section.